Good evening and welcome back to the Space Shuttle Flight Control Room for our first guest commentator of the night. Today we're talking with Derek Selassie, who is a live television producer for NASA TV. And thanks so much for joining us, Derek.
Thank you, Brandy. It's a pleasure to be here.
And now, normally, Derek is on the other side of the camera for these. He has been the producer for all of our interview, or not all of them, but just about all of our interviews so far this mission. He's taking the time out to tell us a little bit about what he does.
Yeah, it's certainly fun to be on this side, so I'm looking forward to this interview. In general, what I do for this mission is we provide all the television support for the Public Affairs Office. So we're basically putting out all of the NASA TV that everybody's watching right now. When we're not in mission, we're providing that same support for the space station.
Okay, and so what does it mean to be providing television support? What exactly are you doing back there?
Well, in a sense, we're telling the story as to what's happening. So we'll take this mission, for example. We're in the production control room, and there are several different means in which video comes down from the shuttle or station at this point, since they're both docked. And we select these feeds and we put it out. And then, of course, we work with you, the commentators, as who's talking about what they're seeing, and together we kind of figure out how we want to tell the story. So it's really cool in a sense.
So how do you decide what to put out at any given time? What is the criteria you look at?
Well, we look at what's happening that day, for example. So, if it's, I believe today is MPLM transfer day, or yesterday.
Good guess for this
Okay,
mission, huh?
Yeah, good guess. So, we'll see that, and we'll watch the feeds that are coming down, and we'll talk with you, for example, the commentator, as to at which point you want to describe what, and we'll select that feed, and that's what the viewer will be seeing, and they'll be hearing your voice over it. So, and at the end, it tells the story as to what's happening.
How do you think this mission's going so far as telling the story, this being the last mission?
I think this has been one of the smoothest that I've worked, as far as just receiving great video, and I've been working with you, so we work well as a team together, and I think it's been great. I hope you feel the same.
Oh, absolutely. So how long have you been with NASA?
I came to NASA in 2004. Prior to working here, I was working for the Department of Defense in Fort Polk, Louisiana, where I was a videographer and editor, and I was doing a lot of training with the Army and the Air Force out there. And so after 2004, yeah, I came over here. I started in Mission Video, which is in Building 8, and I worked there for a couple of years, and that really gave me a lot of the skills to really know the inner workings of how television production is here at the Johnson Space Center. And I worked there for a couple of years, and then I went over to Continental Airlines for a brief period of time where I worked in their media department, and then I was offered a position to be a live television producer here, so I couldn't resist. I came back to NASA.
What was so tempting about it?
Well, it's NASA. So I try and tell people it's the coolest and just the greatest place you could ever imagine working. I mean, you think about all these other companies and the product they provide, but then you think about what NASA does, and it puts people in space, and I don't think you can beat that. So it's pretty cool.
I agree. Well, how do you compare, doing this job here how does it compare to what you did for DoD or some, television production somewhere else?
Well, yeah, I've been fortunate with my jobs. They've all been so exciting, and so to compare it is kind of tough, because when I worked for the DoD, some of the things I got to do in Army training was be in the field with the soldiers, and whether that would be in like a striker vehicle or a helicopter, and shooting some really intense video. And I come over to NASA, and I'm working with astronauts and flight directors and some true legends, and I had a chance to shoot some zero gravity footage when I was in Building 8, and so it's all those things I did were so exciting. I can't really compare them. I've just been real fortunate, and I savor everything I've done.
It sounds like it. Tell us about the zero G flight.
When I was over in Building 8, I had the chance to shoot some, they're called student campaigns, where they bring kids in and they fly their experiments and they test them out in zero gravity. So yeah, I had as a videographer, I would go up there and basically document what's happening, and it was incredible. People always ask me to describe it, and I just tell them I can't. But there's just no other feeling in the world that can prepare you for the moment you're about to go in zero gravity.
Okay. Does it help you, I guess, to know kind of, I don't know, to tell the story in some way? Do you think now?
Oh, definitely. It offered me one of the biggest building blocks of my career as far as shooting video goes, because you think about it, like you're going to shoot zero gravity, and it's going to be so much fun. Well, you're working, and one of the interesting things I found, that being up there, you're really documenting the people that are having fun. And so when you're going zero G, you can't. My job is to try and not go zero G so I can shoot others, and that was the biggest challenge, because you just wanted to float and have fun, and you found yourself, well, you have a job to do, and so that was a funny part of it.
Gives you some sympathy for the astronauts?
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, when we're up there, it's only for 15 to 20 seconds. You go up and down, and especially up the space station, they got months of it. So I can only I can't imagine.
All right. Well, what are some other highlights from your time here?
Oh boy, I've had the privilege of just meeting so many legends. For instance, Gene Kranz and Chris Kraft, Alan Bean, John Young. I've been able to interview them one on one, which was as a big NASA fan, that was incredible. And of course, there's many current astronauts and flight directors I've worked with that are also amazing as well. Um, and I work with a great team too in my department. I've been really fortunate to just see the amount of professionalism and creativity combined. I mean, it's an amazing group that I work with up there.
All right. Well, what would you say, from your point of view, makes a good mission?
I think smooth and boring makes good, because that means everything's going perfect and the way we expected. And so it's funny, because that's one of the challenging things for us for TV. You want to have something exciting. So, but I would take smooth and boring anytime. And I mean, this mission certainly isn't boring per se, but there's so much excitement with it, especially with it being the last flight. Um, you sit there and you think about that. It's great to be a part of history in this. But yeah, I like things nice and calm.
Would you say that you're treating this flight any different with it being the last one?
Yeah, it's funny. I had a lot of people asking me, how is it different being the last mission? And from our standpoint, we're coming into work, and we're treating all of our shifts just like I did last mission and the mission before that. It's and the last couple missions were like that. The last flight of Endeavour, the last one of Discovery, and so I never looked at it that way. It was like, okay, it's flight day 3 of a mission. We have a job to do. Flight day 4, and that's how it's been so far. Now, probably come landing, it might be a different story, but so far it's been just business as usual up there.
What about after landing for you? Things, I guess, will keep going just pretty much apace with the International Space Station.
Yeah, we'll be busier than ever. We'll still be providing support for the International Space Station, and as well as all the other new events that'll, I'm sure, be popping up. We do a lot of different projects and provide support for other departments out here as well. So I expect it to be just as busy.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming and talking with us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to going back on the other side now.
And starting in a few minutes, I guess all the scenes we're seeing on NASA TV will be put out by you.
That's correct. It's going to be a good night of television, so I recommend everybody watch.
All right. Thanks again. Again, this was Derek Selassie from a live TV producer for NASA TV. We're going to go back now to live TV from NASA TV. This is Mission Control Houston.